Hey guys! So today I wanted to talk about a topic of addiction, as you could probably guess from the cover of this video. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this topic is because of my own personal work that I've been doing recently and with clients, and also I've been doing a lot of training around this, and I've been listening to a lot of different podcasts of different speakers, and one of them is Gabor Maté, and his definition of addiction is, which I'll read from my phone because I can't remember. Addiction is manifested in any behaviour that a person craves, finds temporary relief or pleasure in, but suffers negative consequences as a result and yet has difficulty giving up. In brief, craving, relief, pleasure, suffering, impaired control. So nowhere in that definition does it say drugs, alcohol, or anything like that you would automatically think of when someone says addiction. So addiction can be anything. You can be addicted to shopping, you can be addicted to approval, you can be addicted to self-judgments, to judgments of others, you can be addicted to alcohol, to drugs, to smoking, to sex, to anger. There's various types of addictions, and one of the things that Gabor Maté says as well is, instead of asking why the addiction, ask why the pain. So the reason for the addiction is because the person with the addiction has some kind of pain inside that they have not dealt with, maybe from childhood, teenagers or adulthood, and instead they have suppressed it, and the symptom of them not healing that pain is an addiction. So the addiction is not the problem. The addiction is a symptom of the issue, of the core issue, which is not healing the pain inside. And I have suffered with addictions. As many of you who know me know, I used to have an eating disorder. Before that, so that was when I was around 8, maybe 20, age 20 for about 2 years, I had an eating disorder, bulimia and anorexia. And before that, when I was around 8 years old, I was addicted to food. So I used food to drown out my emotions, and then later on I developed the eating disorder, and I've also struggled with approval addiction. There's various addictions that I have personally struggled with, and I didn't understand before I started my journey and my training in coaching and inner bonding and inner child work, why these things happened. And one of my recent addictions was biting my nails. And this happened around 1.5 to 2 years ago. I started biting my nails. I've never bitten my nails before. So I was like, why am I biting them? And I never understood why anyone would bite their nails. And when I started doing it, I realised it wasn't a conscious decision. I didn't think, I want to bite my nails. It just happened. I'd be sat there at work doing my work, and I'd automatically just have my hand in my mouth. And that's been going on now for the last 1.5 years, and I've done lots of inner work around this, and over the last couple of weeks I realised why, and it's because I'm telling myself that I don't have enough time to do everything. And the underlying pain or feeling is helplessness, that I am helpless and I don't have enough time to get everything done in work and in my personal life that I need to get done. So over the last couple of weeks, I've been telling myself, whenever I find myself going to bite my nails, that there is enough time in the day to get everything done that needs to get done, and everything else can wait until tomorrow. Okay, and look at my nails. they've grown back. So that's just one example of an addiction, and obviously there's millions of different addictions, and that's why we do need to ask, not why the addiction, but why the pain. What is the pain that's under the addiction? And usually there are two types of pain. So there's the core pain of life, which is grief from the death of a loved one, helplessness over others' feelings and behaviour, heartbreak and loneliness from people being unloving to us. They are the main types of core pain that we feel from life. And then there are wounded painful feelings, which are jealousy, anger, which is different to outrage. When injustice is happening, that is a core feeling as well. Anxiety, depression, yes, they're the types of wounded feelings that come from what we are telling ourselves and doing to ourselves. So in my case, I was telling myself that I didn't have enough time in the day to get everything done, and that made me feel anxious. Okay, so I did have a lot of things to do, but I was making myself feel anxious because I was telling myself that. And the anxiety was expressed in the addiction of biting my nails. That was because I didn't know how else to cope with that anxious feeling, and I went to an addiction to drown it out, to numb it out, to stop feeling it. And that's what we do. We don't want to feel our feelings, so we use an addiction to numb them out and to like bliss out, or just basically not feel our feelings. So there are various other ways that we can do that, and there are various other things. So say, for example, you lose a parent and you feel heartbreak, helplessness, loneliness and grief. It's a lot of feelings to feel when you lose a loved one. It's really very difficult, and a lot of people don't know how to manage those very, very extremely painful feelings. I lost my father a couple of years ago, and it's the strangest thing, because there's no going back from that. So the feeling of helplessness and loss is very strong. And because many people don't know how to manage these feelings, instead they don't want to feel them because they're very painful, and they don't know how to heal them and then let them go to spirit. So instead they go to an addiction, whatever that may be for them: shopping, internet, approval addiction, smoking, whatever it may be. There's various forms of addiction which are the symptom of the cause. So when this happens, it doesn't make us feel any better, and we're addicted because we're not treating the root cause of the problem. The addiction isn't the root cause, it's what's going on, the pain underneath it. So the best way I have found, and I've found with my clients as well, to deal with these feelings is to do an inner bonding process. And it's a 6-step process, and it's absolutely brilliant. And the first step is, whenever you feel any sort of tension or pain anywhere in the body, and that is a signal to tell you to go inside, because there's some pain there. And it could either be pain from core pain, from like the loss of a loved one, or it could be something you're telling yourself or doing that's causing you pain. Okay, so like in my example, I was telling myself that I didn't have enough time, and that was making me anxious, and I was biting my nails, but the anxiety was still there. The biting the nails did not help me numb that feeling. It was still there. And that was a signal to me to go inside and ask myself, what am I saying or doing, or what is happening around me, like what has happened in my life. So you could have lost a job, lost a loved one, someone might be being unloving to you. What has happened, or what am I saying or doing that is making me feel this pain? Okay? And so, for example, if you ask yourself, what am I saying or doing that's making me feel this pain, and you've lost a loved one, the answer could be that you're ignoring the painful feelings that come along with someone you love passing away. And when you ignore those feelings, you become anxious because they get stuck and they get trapped in the body, and they can also create illness. So I just want to say that addictions are not the cause. They are a symptom of underlying pain. And as Gabor Maté says, we should be asking, instead of instead of why the addiction, we should be asking why the pain.